The fourth in the Rebor collection of 1:35 scale prehistoric animal models is a model of the late Jurassic theropod dinosaur Ceratosaurus. Specifically, the individual species represented is Ceratosaurus dentisulcatus, and what a beautiful model it is. In this short video, we will look at this replica in a little more detail and highlight how this Rebor replica reflects the known fossil material. Like all the Rebor replicas, this model comes packaged in a sturdy cardboard box with sleeve. The model is well packed and separated from the base, as each part of this replica has its own compartment for added protection when shipping. No assembly is required, simply unpack and set your Ceratosaurus up. Quick note on the sleeve, if we may. The front depicts a skeleton representation on a silhouette of the dinosaur. Some of the bones are shaded light grey, others are black. Some are missing altogether. We don't know why Rebor has done this. Perhaps we should ask them. It is a very stylised representation of the fossil material, and it certainly does not represent the fossils ascribed to the species of Ceratosaurus. For example, whilst cranial material elements of the skull are known, as far as we at Everything Dinosaur are aware, that iconic nose horn that actually gives this genus its name, horned lizard, is missing from the fossils referred to as Ceratosaurus dentisulcatus. Most academic literature on this species infers a nasal horn, although the fossilized material has never been found. The back of the sleeve shows the current range of Rebor replicas in this series. All the models made so far have been theropods, all of them meat-eaters. There is room for 2 more models to be displayed on the back in the current format. We know the Acrocanthosaurus called Hercules is next, and there are going to be more models in the pipeline. With all the exciting replicas Rebor are going to be making, they will have to change the way in which their growing range is displayed on the back. Either that, or simply get a bigger box. One point worth making. This Ceratosaurus figure is the first non-monospecific replica made in this series. What does this mean? Simply this: the first 3 replicas, Utaranus, Tyrannosaurus and Utahraptor, represent genera that have only got one species assigned to them. With Ceratosaurus, at least 6 different species have been named, although, due to the paucity of the fossil record, there is some debate over the validity of a number of the species so far described. Let's turn to the model itself. This is a beautifully crafted replica, and the detail is exquisite. Ceratosaurus dentisulcatus is regarded as one of the biggest of the Ceratosaurus species recognised, and here we have a large, robust-looking animal, worthy of the moniker savage. When Othniel Charles Marsh, the famous American paleontologist, described Ceratosaurus in 1884, using fossils of a sub-adult specimen found the year before, he remarked on the disproportionately longer tail that this dinosaur had, when compared to other meat-eating dinosaurs of the Morrison Formation. The lengthy tail is very well depicted in this model, and this replica is posed as if it is stalking prey. The tail has a couple of bends in it, which implies movement and flexibility. Marsh proposed that a longer, more flexible tail, when compared to Allosaurus, suggested that Ceratosaurus was a very good swimmer, and it has been proposed that this dinosaur specialised in hunting aquatic prey. Like the other models in this range released so far by Rebor, Ceratosaurus has got an articulated lower jaw, and once again the painting and the detail shown have to be praised. All the fossil material that have been assigned to Ceratosaurus dentisulcatus come from the famous Cleveland Lord dinosaur quarry of east central Utah, and the bones and the teeth that represent this species were collected over a number of years, but all from the same horizon. It is the teeth that give this Ceratosaurus its specific name. The teeth tend to be larger and more recurved in shape than those seen in Ceratosaurus nasicornis, the species that Marsh actually named back in 1884. What is more, Many of the teeth, specifically those in the lower jaw, have prominent grooves running down them. It is these grooves that give this Ceratosaurus its trivial name, dentis sulcatus. That's translated as deeply grooved or furrowed teeth. We have seen similar grooves in the rostral teeth of pliosaurs. So who knows, maybe this species of Ceratosaurus was an aquatic predator after all. If we view the model from the top, the dorsal view if you like, the carefully modelled eye ornamentation and that nose horn are very prominent, as are the characteristic rows of armoured scales that run along the length of the body. This is the only theropod dinosaur that we know with that sort of body armour. Rows and rows of armoured scales, extensive osteoderms running from the back of the skull down the length of the body. In the excellent Jurassic Collectibles video review, it was suggested that this dinosaur was almost crocodilian in appearance. Marsh made similar comparisons back in the mid-1880s when he was reviewing the fossil material that led to the establishment of the Ceratosaurus genus. If you look closely at the replica, you can see that there are lots of different sized scales depicted, from the pebble type circular scales seen on the tail and the model's underside, to large, more irregular scales seen over the hip region and around the femora, the top of the legs. Why the armour? We don't know. We have nothing in our database to support a specific theory. However, there is reference to footprint evidence indicating that this dinosaur may have lived in packs. If Ceratosaurus did, and if displaying that nose horn did not settle an argument, perhaps the armour was protection against intraspecific combat, defence against a member of your own pack taking a bite out of you. What is known is that Ceratosaurus shared its environment with a lot of other meat-eating dinosaurs, a couple of which were bigger. Could the armour have been protection against the unwelcome attentions of a hungry Torvosaurus perhaps? Or maybe a predatory Allosaurus? Who knows? Before we look at the amazingly detailed base that comes with this replica, it is worth noting how well balanced the model is. Firstly, the replica can be stood up on its own without the base. Secondly, this Ceratosaurus can be displayed in two ways on its base. It can be displayed this way, for example, with the head at the same end as the tree stump, or the model can be reversed and displayed so that it faces the other way. Which display you choose, we guess, is just down to personal preference. Time to look at that beautiful base. The fossils of Ceratosaurus dentosulcatus come from the lowest member of the Morrison Formation, what is termed the brushy basin member, the youngest rocks that make up the Morrison. Most of the dinosaur fossils have been found in blocky shells and mudstones, and capping these rocks is a layer of freshwater limestone. This and other geological evidence suggests that Ceratosaurus dentosulcatus lived in a very watery world. Imagine a huge low-lying floodplain, crisscrossed by many large, slow-moving rivers, with lots of lakes dotted about. This was a landscape of mud and water, and this is beautifully depicted in the base of this replica. Rebor has even used transparent resin to create the impression of puddles, and the footprints show deformation and almost shine, giving a wonderful impression of this dinosaur making its way across sticky mud. As for model dimensions, the Ceratosaurus figure measures approximately 27 centimeters in length, with the head height, when on the base, at about 10.5 centimeters. The base itself measures approximately 14 centimeters long. All in all, this is an Ceratosaurus, and one that is a very welcome addition to the Rebor range. We have received rave reviews from our customers on the other Rebor models, but in our humble opinion, this is the best model that Rebor has made to date. Ceratosaurus dentosulcatus and the rest of the Rebor collection is available from Everything Dinosaur, the UK-based retailer of dinosaur models, toys and games that is staffed by parents, teachers and real dinosaur experts. Check out www.everythingdinosaur.com everythingdinosaur.com for all your dinosaur and prehistoric animal product needs.